I'm
Electrolytes?
drinking Miller High Life, the champagne of beers.
That's basically water. Yeah.
It is. And it's electric and light. I don't
It's
know. I don't have
electric.
anything. Do 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 do. Yeah, yeah. I came up with a lot of really interesting things to talk about on this, in addition to what you will tell us, Chelsea, because you're going to tell us some actual stuff. But I got to thinking about this theme.
I basically only have questions.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. It's just the hour earlier, I think, but I feel uniquely inspired to create some compelling conversation this week instead of just being a grandstanding blowhard.
I'm okay with either.
But that's the crux of Debut Buddy.
Yeah. That's why
everybody's tuning in to hear me blow.
Yeah.
Did you guys feel like Nate blew soft this week?
Yeah. You don't want to. Hey, look, every guy blows soft every once in a while. It's not. It's just normal. Like, you get in your head.
No judgment. It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's normal. It's normal stuff. Plus, I'm over 40, so it's odds are I'm going to blow softer more frequently. Probably have to make sure my blood pressure is okay if that becomes the case consistently. We've talked about this, I think, on the show already. So this is a fine topic to broach in the pre-intro.
I think it's a perfect topic.
How's so yeah, it's Arkansas's hot.
Arkansas is hot. I have more than a couple of things to talk about. I did a decent amount of research, but I have been driving and feels like I'm kind of out of it 90% of the time, as you guys have known, since I haven't responded to anything.
Sure. Yeah.
So I've been just a lot out of it lately. So we'll see how this goes. This might go well. I might stare off into the distance and slowly fall asleep without meaning to, but that's fine. We'll just see how it goes. It's going to be great. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I think it's great. And not for nothing, you did fully displace yourself, which, regardless of you can quantify a number of miles, you can quantify, it's only 2 hours ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you're doing that is hard. Like, your body, it's funny because we're humans, and all these knuckleheads are like, we gotta go back to being hunter-gatherers or whatever, because subsistence farming has led to the pussification of the male race, right? These guys that are all over my YouTube. I don't know if you guys get this same thing. No, I'm teasing.
Okay.
No, my YouTube suggested algorithm is it is honest trailers, it is pitch meeting, and it is the same 9 music videos from the late 80s to early 2000s over and over and over again.
Hold on. Can we guess them? Maybe.
Yeah, let's try it.
Okay. Number 1, Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley.
Oh,
Number 2.
Just Never Gonna Give You Up, but a different
eight more times.
The one that repeats for an hour or 10 hours.
The Prince Batman soundtrack.
I would say anything on Pure Moods.
The Seal Batman song, Kiss on a Rose. Great.
On the grave, not the grave. Sorry, I just had I had a very long discussion in the car about how upset I was about that song not saying grave and saying on the gray.
What does that mean?
Because I feel like he's in a graveyard in part of the video, which is what confused the hell out of me as a child. As someone who cannot hear the lyrics in anything and almost always gets it wrong.
Yeah.
Huh. What does that mean?
I read pretty hard against it that it was
a kiss from a rose on the gray.
Yeah.
I think it's the idea that something beautiful and colorful would happen in the sort of generalized midness of existence.
Oh. Okay, Seal.
I mean, he was married to Heidi Klum, right?
Yeah,
so, Yeah,
well, but she's a weirdo. That doesn't
She was dressed up as an actual rose. And she was like, you have to go as the color gray, and I'm going to kiss you all night. And that is our costume.
He was like, I'll make a song.
Yeah, I'm going to do this.
I love it.
I wish there was some sort of internet where we could post photos of ourselves in these costumes.
It'll happen one day. You guys just wait.
Not Al Gore, but Seal invented the internet.
It's true.
One of the songs is Brighter Than Sunshine by Aqualung, which you probably don't remember too well.
Sing it.
Uh,
Oh no, I know that one. I know that one.
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, that song. The song this must be the day by the, which is a fantastic 80s song.
Okay.
No Myth by the non-Sean Penn Michael Penn, who is his brother.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
All the Penn boys were doing stuff. It's true.
Good for
Do
them.
they know the Bacon Boys? Do you think
know
that
the
they?
Bacon Boys?
The Bacons have a
I think
band?
they're running in circles, right?
They gotta
Probably.
be. They should go on tour together.
What else is on that list? I don't know. I can't remember. It's all. There's a.
Then
Anyway,
just sing
look,
it. Sing the
it's
song.
not getting
we'll get
interesting.
it. We'll get it.
Yeah, sing it. Sing it.
Sing
I
it.
can't.
Because I see what you did there. Music edition.
The song "Strangers" by the Kinks, which I don't.
Mhm.
You know it. You know the song "Strangers" by the Kinks. It's fantastic. Anyway,
I love the Kinks.
I just have like a weird because I use YouTube so infrequently and I only occasionally watch okay, here's something I did watch. We're totally gonna get to the show in a minute, but
YouTube is art. YouTube is art.
yeah,
This is better.
my neighbor around the corner, like 4 houses around, is this guy named Mouse. His
like my
full
cat.
name. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. It's his nickname. His full name is Bruce Strauss, but his nickname is Mouse. He
Okay.
was a professional boxer in the 70s and 80s.
Whoa.
And I watched a documentary about him on YouTube because he was a, quote, professional opponent. So, like, all he did was go be the guy that lost most of the fights. Like, he would be out there, and all he had to do was last long enough to get paid, and then he would always get knocked out.
I bet that pays great.
Well, it really did. And what he told me when I was walking Rocket, we ran into him and his dog, and he was telling me about how, he had this great gig until I think New Jersey and Nevada both said their boxing commissions were like, hey, look, you have to give this much time in between fights because we don't want people to actually have brain injury. We don't want to be, let me qualify.
Nice of them.
We don't want to be culpable for people's brain injuries by allowing them to fight too much. So Mouse was telling me that it sucked because I used to just try to fight like twice a night if I could.
Yeah.
So part of this documentary is that he fought one guy and then he came back out. He parted his hair the other way.
Yes.
Came out as his twin brother.
I was going to ask if he put on like a fake mustache.
Yeah. So he came out, hair parted the other way to fight again. There's also a bunch of clips of him from times he was on David Letterman.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
They're on YouTube. He is hilarious, and he's just he's a very interesting guy. There is also apparently a full-length feature film from the early 90s called
Deer
The
Hunter.
Mouse. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, it's based on him. And it has Rip Torn's daughter, which I mean, you know who Rip Torn is because Men in Black.
No.
Men in Black. Mm-hmm.
He's the
Elaborate.
goateed boss in Men in Black.
Got it. Thank you.
He has an iconic voice, Rip Torn.
Yes, I
He
know
was
exactly
also
who it is
on
now.
a bunch of HBO shows. I think he was on Gary Shandling show, among other things. Anyway, yeah, his daughter's in that.
Good for him. I'm
Yeah.
rooting for Mouse.
He's an interesting guy to have as a neighbor. It's really cool because he's very friendly.
He's not getting into street fights.
No, I mean not yet.
Okay,
not
good.
that I've
But
seen.
he's not getting paid for it.
He's not getting paid. Yeah.
It's true. It's
Why
true.
do
Yeah,
you
you're
not
not
get
making
paid?
money. You're not making money fighting in the streets of Wilmington, Delaware right now. We got to set something up. Maybe I should start promoting a comeback for him. We'll see what we can do. Patreon subscribers, if you want Mouse to fight again, you're gonna want to sign up.
How old is Mouse?
He's got to be like mid 60s, I would say. Maybe late 60s.
Does he? Are we gonna need to have like age brackets?
Yeah, I don't think you can just go weight classes when you have that level of age disparity. Just to be
He
fair,
also has to have osteoporosis.
right? Although, hey, look, Mouse's backyard butts up to ours, so every once in a while we'll see him. He goes out there. He's doing his shuffle.
hell
He's
yeah.
punching. He's still
Keeping
doing
it tight.
Yeah. He's still working. He's a good dude. Listeners, welcome to the ride that is Debut Buddies. This is a fortnightly podcast about firsts. I am Nate. I am one of the buddies.
I'm Kelly. I'm an additional buddy.
I'm Chelsea. I'm also a buddy.
Yeah, you are.
Hell yeah. You are the buddy who is going to tell us about this episode's topic. We're going to be talking about the first artwork to increase in value after being vandalized. Is that correct? Did I say that right?
Yes.
Fantastic.
I think so. And what I'm going to tell you is the first one is probably disputed. So I'm going to go over a couple throughout time, and then I'm going to see what we agree on as a group as the first. And the reason that this was brought up as a topic was finding out about the angry girlfriend variant, Spider-Man,
the AGV
14. Yeah.
What?
And what had happened was this guy named Chance had gifted his girlfriend at the time Amazing Spider-Man 14, which was the first appearance of the Green Goblin. And something happened, unknown what that was. And she got very angry and she wrote all over the comic. And she did not write on the ad pages, but she wrote on all of the pages and the back of it, basically just being like, you suck, I hate you, you're the worst person ever.
Do we think that maybe someone else was gobbling him and that's why she got upset?
I don't want to be too speculative. I can't. I kind of will get into that because I did watch a YouTube interview with the guy who owns the comic now, and he has spoken to the angry girlfriend.
All right.
And but this happened back in the 80s, and the guy who owns it now, his partner, and I don't know if it's like a co-owner of their comic shop or his partner in life, had purchased the set of comics from this guy Chance, who had sold them to Titan Comics in Atlanta, and he bought them in 1994 for $40. And in that set, it had the Angry Girlfriend variant. They went and had it graded. And they also said, okay, Nate, do you know a lot about comic books? Because I'm going to say something I don't know enough about comic books.
Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to say maybe. And if you say something that I can actually agree to,
what's an ASM 14?
Oh, fuck. I don't know.
Well, it's issue 14.
Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man.
Amazing Spider-Man.
yeah, that works. That works.
Well,
we got there.
I was like, what? You guys. Oh God.
It's an issue of Spider-Man where you whisper
I'm really
the
tired.
entire
I talked
time.
about this.
Oh my God.
ASMR 14.
I was like, ASM 14, okay. And I was like, that's not the grading, but I thought the grading was like a 1.8, which is incredibly low because it means it's terrible quality.
What's the scale on the grading? And also, just so you know, this is my new Carrie Elwes.
ASM 14.
Okay, 1.8 is low.
Okay, yeah, 1.8 is low. I don't know what it goes up to.
Okay.
Comic grading scale goes up to 10. 10 is gem mint.
Okay.
1.0 would be fair. So 1.8 puts you in low good. It's good minus.
Wow, how bad do you have to be if you have scribbles all over you and they're like low good?
I mean, as long as it still has all the pages.
I think that's the thing, right? It's damage to the pages. It's the fact that like the comic itself is still intact.
Mm-hmm. And if you were looking at the ASM 14 today in mint condition, it would go for about 10 grand. So that's kind of what we're looking at in comparison to what it is possibly worth today. The current owner is trying, like, he has a price tag on it for $100,000, but I don't know if he's willing to sell it for that much. But in the interview, he talked about Jim Lee, who's a very famous comic book artist, and Donny Cates, who might also be, somebody is listening to this as a comic book fan and is very angry with me right now. Jim Lee does I think he does Marvel, but he moved over to DC, but he's a big guy in the comic book world. And I think that the owner of this issue has said that he was willing to give it to Jim Lee for 2 published pieces of original artwork which his published pieces of artwork, if you were to get a cover, it's millions of dollars. So so it's a pretty penny if he does give it away. But I think that Donny Cates had offered him a certain amount of money, and he said he said he was considering it, but then Jim Lee came in and was like, please do not consider it. I will try to purchase it at some point. So it's still in his possession, and you can go see it, I think, at Rough Edges Comics. I'm not sure where that's located. Should look that up. But what brought this up is that this comic book was completely destroyed, and it quintupled. What's the word? I don't how to went up in lots. Yeah,
went up in lots.
It's okay. Exponentially increased in value.
Yeah.
I have a question. So it sounds like we didn't know about this issue, and then it was found, and then it became worthwhile? Or were there like rumors underground of the Angry Girlfriend variant, and we've been like hunting for it?
It got notoriety like after he bought it sometime in the 90s, and then there were I think probably early 2000s it got really big, and the internet made it really big. It ended up having like an article in Newsweek, I think, and Reddit ate it up. So because of it becoming so famous.
It's literally a 1 of 0, right? So I think that's part of the value. It's like no one else has, like, somebody can have a gem mint Amazing Spider-Man number 14, but it is not vandalized in this specific way that makes it so spectacularly original. Which, I mean, scarcity is the source of collectability, I think, for almost everything anyway. Like, you know.
Maybe get the Pokemon card that has the little misprint.
Yeah, the C-3PO that had a penis from the old Star Wars cards.
That one.
Yeah, those were worth a lot of money because they released it on accident, and then they recalled all of them and destroyed them. But a few people still got that dong.
There's that baseball card that was accidentally issued because the guy was flipping people off while holding his bat, and the proofers didn't notice it. Now
there's the Billy Ripken
Billy
Ripken baseball card that says "fuckface" on the bottom of the
bat.
bat.
You know what? Maybe that's what I was thinking of. I think that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. Classic. That's classic. That was actually one of my vandalized arts on the list.
Sorry to scoop ya.
No, because it's not really vandalized in any direct sense. Like, it's just a photograph. The photograph itself is art.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
To that point, like, it seems to be things that are collectibles that are 1 out of 1, but when it comes to specific pieces of art, this is maybe where I should have gone in that direction and not said a piece of art, because I don't know how much research you guys did, but a lot of art pieces, they do not go up in value based on vandalism, and they all get restored. But there are pieces that like feel like they would, and they get more notoriety and they get more famous because of these acts against them a lot of the time. Like not talking about like recent ones where people are throwing paint, usually on glass surfaces, over the paintings. But there have been a lot of pieces of art that have been vandalized that is just like, it just happens so often. It sounds like all the time. I was shocked at how much art just gets vandalized pretty constantly.
Well, and I wondered, a lot of the vandals are artists themselves. So it's not, it seems like it's not like, most commonly, it doesn't seem like it's somebody who's like necessarily acting out of malice, but they're either like trying to contribute to the statement of the original art or make a counterpoint. And so I wondered if perhaps their subsequent pieces go up in value because of the notoriety.
Are you talking about a specific
piece
of art? Oh, okay, because there was one specific one I was going to call out that I have listed as the first one that fits that. Almost exactly.
Hit it.
My hypothesis.
Yeah. I mean, there are more recent ones that have happened that, like, because I think like Ai Weiwei has like overpainted a bunch of native pots. So that was a big one, but that was more recent. The one I'm going to talk about was done in 1953, and it's called Erase de Kooning.
So, I did read about this, but I hadn't categorized it this way. Oh, okay. Tell us. This is really interesting.
So like, and I watched some interviews with Rauschenberg, because Rauschenberg was the one who created Erase de Kooning. And I can't take full credit for it. Ryan was like, this is a great piece. And I was like, okay, well, fine. I'll watch some interviews. But they were super interesting because like de Kooning at the time was like the hottest shit in the world.
Oh.
And Rauschenberg, not as I guess not considered as famous. Rauschenberg is super famous now. Awesome. Doesn't he mostly do like, oh no, this is where I'm gonna, he does like, it's not, is that assemblage? Like you put a bunch of pieces of things together. Someone's angry again.
I don't know.
But so what ended up happening was he wanted to do a piece, and he went to de Kooning, and he even talked about, like, he was like, I had a couple drinks, I went over to his house, I wanted him to say no, and I wanted that to be the piece. And then he was like, and then when I went in and said something to him, he basically said no. So I was like, okay, this is the piece. And he was like, but wait. And then like the conversation just kept going, and he kept wanting him to not do it. And he was like, hold on, I have to get a piece that I like. And so like he went and got a piece that he was working on that he really liked, and he like gave it to him, and he was like, oh God, no.
Wait. Have we said what he did with it?
Yeah, he erased it.
He erased it. Yeah.
He erased everything on it. So he erased, and he wanted to get him one that was hard to erase. So it took him like 4 months to erase everything on it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So it had every type. It had like oil, it had acrylic, it had pencil, it had charcoal. Like he had everything on it. So there is still like a drawing of his, I think, on the other side. But it was just really nice hearing Rauschenberg being like, I wish you would not do this. And I'm keep giving you an out, and please. And he was just like very timid, like it sounds like he was very timid in his presence, and just being like, please just let this be the piece of you denying me of this piece.
Like, yeah, let it just be a thought experiment. Don't let me destroy your work.
But he did it. And I think that this one, whenever I say like, it jumped up in price. Looking at the price today, the last time it was sold was in, I think, 2019, and it was for either 80.8 million or 88 million. It was something around there. And then I started looking at paintings by de Kooning or similar drawings by de Kooning that are on sale now, and they're in the low thousands, not like low tens of thousands, like low thousands. They're like $4,000 or $5,000. So,
and what about what's his name?
Rauschenberg. I'm assuming his stuff still goes for very high, but at the time it was one of the highest sold pieces. So I think that's one of his most important pieces. I should have done more research on Rauschenberg. My bad.
But again, because it's just like completely unique, right? You can't.
Yeah.
It becomes a collaboration at that point. I mean, it's a vandalism, but it's a collaborative vandalism. It's like a mix track, you know?
Yeah.
A mashup.
Yeah. And it's also like, that's an interesting idea about like, these are some of the half-formed thoughts that I wrote down on this. Like, art is ephemeral, even like fine art, even that you paint, that's ephemeral. Like, eventually the sun will explode and that will be destroyed. Mm-hmm. Nothing is forever. And so that's like a really concise way to examine that idea. Mm-hmm. And like, it's almost like manufactured nostalgia. Does that make sense?
No.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It looks cool though. Did you look at pictures of it?
Mm-hmm. And they've done like X-rays of, not X-rays, some rays. Is it X-rays to see what was on the paper before? That's cool.
Yeah. I didn't see that. Or do those look cool? Okay.
Taste. Art's subjective, I guess.
I wouldn't call it art.
That's so fascinating. And you know what it makes me think of? This is so stupid. I'm so sorry. It makes me think of the Dybbuk box from The Possession, the movie The Possession. The Dybbuk box exists, but was an art piece essentially, and the guy like created the Dybbuk story, and that has spawned like a bunch of copycat Dybbuk boxes, and some people have like legitimate spooky experiences around them, and some paranormal investigators got their hands on one and snuck it into an MRI to get pictures of what was on the inside, and it was just like candles and twine, like it wasn't anything. but I don't know, that
ghosts in there?
Unfortunately no. But that made me think of that, like you have this like mystic thing and with like that like makes your imagination run wild, and then you bring science into it and it kind of ruins it for you.
Yeah.
It's like the idea that there would be like some sort of horrible painting underneath another painting, not which is not, not vandalism necessarily, but that I feel like that's a center of horror, and maybe even like Lovecraftian stuff is the idea like, if we take off the top layer of painting, we see that he was painting some sort of horrible beast under there.
Something spooky.
What does this mean? Yeah,
that's not a bad idea. You could even have like the new paint start to flake off, and whoever's trying to hide it keeps having to like cover it over with additional paint, trying to keep it secret, keep it safe.
Yeah, the grumpy Ghostbusters 2 guy just keeps like cracking his lips through. You're trying to paint like an adorable teddy bear, and then every once in a while his mouth is just like, I'm here to kill you.
Oh, you're right. I forgot we already did haunted painting.
Yeah, what's the Lovecraft story? Pickman's Model is a very interesting short story. Lovecraft, not
painting?
a good man, but this is about, I mean, it's about an artist who only depicts horrible things, and it was captured very well, I think, in Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities. There's an episode on Pickman's Model, but it was also on the old Night Gallery show that was a sequel in spirit to The Twilight Zone in the 60s. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, lots for me to look up. Also, check out our episode of Never Show the Monster on Velvet Buzzsaw about haunted paintings.
That's a good episode of your podcast. I like that one a lot.
And I was going to say, and to the point of having like a collaborative painting, there was one that also happened recently, done in by an American artist, but it was on display in Korea. By someone named John One, and he was a graffiti artist, and everyone did a bunch of graffiti pieces, but his piece had a bunch of like paint cans in front of it and brushes and some I don't think they were tourists, they may have lived there. A couple went up and they put 2 brush strokes because they thought it was an interactive piece.
Hell yeah.
And that painting was at the time worth $400,000 or $444,000, depending on which YouTube video you watch on it.
Oh, sure.
But he is restoring the painting, but and they may be on the hook for paying for it as well. And it's like a couple $1,000s to restore, which is really, I don't know. That one I went back and forth on because I was like, I mean, you were inviting people. I don't know how to feel about that one.
Yeah, that does feel like bait.
Yeah. And the painting was a little bit better, to be honest. Like they had like a beautiful 3 green streaks, and it was beautiful.
So that's something that I have in my questions. Is there a piece of art that was vandalized, quote unquote, that increased in value to you? Like, regardless of the money, it sounds like you think that this one looked better.
I've got something.
For sure.
I was reading, I found a very long list of art that was vandalized. It turns out lots and lots was vandalized. Mm-hmm. The one that I thought was most interesting, largely because I've always found this particular sculpture, a ready-made by Marcel Duchamp, called Fountain from 1917, which is actually just a urinal that he turned sideways and signed, Marmot.
Oh, yeah.
So apparently it has twice been vandalized, or at least attempted there's no way to really confirm this perfectly, but Brian Eno, the famed musician and composer, has stated that he in private peed in the fountain.
And then somebody did it,
and then a French performance artist also did it. Pierre Pinoncelli did it in 1993. He peed on it and then hit it with a hammer. And he was put in jail. He was put in jail and forced to pay a fine.
Put in jail?
Yeah.
For how long?
It doesn't seem like it was that long.
It was just the drunk tank. He didn't even know he was doing vandalism.
You're probably right. I'm a performance artist. Boom. I've said that plenty of times when I've been drunk, right? You're in college. You do something stupid. It's performance art.
It's performance art.
I'm going to see you older.
I have a question about this, too. Mm-hmm. Is that vandalism? Like, does vandalism have to be permanent? Like, you just rinse that off and you're fine.
Can you ever really rinse it? Look, okay. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you were peed on by a person Would
Yeah.
any amount of washing lead to you to be like, I've never been peed on? Or would you always know that someone
Have
peed
the
on?
memory
Yeah.
of the pee. But does that but here's my counter to that.
Okay.
Is that doesn't make me a peed upon person. Like that doesn't change my identity. It's just something that happened.
I think that's a very assertive and strong perspective to have. I think a lot of our listeners would feel like if they got peed on, that they would now be a peed upon person.
Peed upon person.
And I am not going to shame
Hi,
them
I'm Kelly,
for feeling
and
that
there's something you should know about me.
I was going to say there's an artwork that also tangents, I'll say that word differently, tangents into this instead of tangents. Anyway, Calvin peeing on things.
Oh,
This has long been an
Okay.
artwork that bothered me, but I would argue that it increased the value of the art because you see that shit everywhere. Whoever decided that they could rip off Calvin and make him pee on whatever, whether it be the Oakland Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, the LA Raiders, Ford, Dodge, etc., they are making a lot of money. And they have vandalized Bill Watterson's work.
See, and that's interesting because some people also use the sticker to vandalize other things. You see it on cars most often. Like you put it against a brand that you don't like. And so are those both vandalisms? Is Calvin and Hobbes' work being vandalized by this misuse? What is vandalism? What is art?
I'm going to say something. I think the use of Calvin is more of, because this is like when you go into copyright and you can create satire. So it's a reuse of, has he ever peed in the comments? Sorry. I don't know.
he never has.
He's never peed, right?
Yeah.
So they've never taken that out and used it. So I think reuse of the same, because if we went down that road of reuse of characters,
that's fair. We talk a lot about Garf on this podcast.
Garf.
Yeah. Then I feel like we'd go, I mean, we could have a whole separate episode just on those.
No, I think you're right. It is.
Tune in next week.
It is technically parody of intellectual property, which is not the same as vandalism, but in my heart, it's a vandalization, right? I think in the same way that one could say that, like, the girlfriend variant, the angry girlfriend variant, is not necessarily a vandalization because it's not a vandalization of the original. Like that would be the line I would draw. It's like, well, if I get a copy of the New York Times and I write, fuck face on it, am I vandalizing? Or am I just like creating, or am I just like doing a thing to one issue? Like if I go to New York and I hop into the press and I put my butt in there because I assume this is how newspapers work, and then my butt is on every single front page, then maybe that's vandalism.
No, that's art.
See, but a lot of vandalism is also art.
Well, vandalism is defacing something, whether it be a copy or whether it be anything else, right? So you're, no matter what you're defacing, as long as you're doing that, that's considered vandalism. Is that right? Did we define vandalism at the top?
No, when I just asked it a minute ago, I was being serious.
Yeah. Well, and I want to ask the question of, to deface something implies that something has been faced in the first place. And I want to know what qualifies as facing. Like, because I think a lot of people will think of vandalism. Now. Yeah, I know. It's an hour earlier, guys. It's going to be weird. Because a lot of people will talk about how, vandalism is property crime, like graffiti or smashing windows, say against an oppressive state, things like that. Like, don't vandalize my Target superstore because I feel unsafe that you did that.
Grow up. Sorry, go on.
So the question, like, this is where this is tricky, because it's like, is a corporate commercial building inherently, quote unquote, faced enough that it can be defaced? Or is there actually a sort of platonic qualifier for being a form of something that is artistic or merited enough that you can actually deface it, right? Like, can you take away from something that is completely utilitarian and therefore has no value.
I think that part of why vandalism is subjective because value is subjective, right? So like that Target Superstore doesn't, like, its brick wall doesn't contain inherent value to me, but to like crazy, like money hungry capitalists, it does. It represents something to them. And therefore to them, it can be defaced. So it all comes down to like, what do you value? What is important to you? Right?
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. I think that this is the territory where we get with what is art, what can be vandalized, what can't, because I would probably venture that some folks would say that like you can't really vandalize a Spider-Man comic because it's just a comic book. It's garbage, right? Like someone would be like, it does not matter.
You know, I was going down a similar thought that I think is just lateral thinking from this, which is, think about it in the other way. So the Mona Lisa, I think that at least the three of us here can agree that that is art. And then
terrible painting.
That's fine, but it is art.
She's clearly up to something.
She is, but that's why I like her.
No, I know.
And so like we are already protecting it with the glass in front of it, like you mentioned earlier, Chelsea. But I have heard that can like sort of obscure the brush strokes, and so you can't see all of the detail the same way that you would if you were like nose to nose up close. And so now we're like sacrificing everybody's observation of it in order to protect it. And so what if we just took really high def pictures of it and stuck those in the museum instead? Is that still art? And that's nice because then anybody can vandalize it and then you can just pop up the new one. So like, I think that's the same thought in the other direction. Like how, like what?
We can go down like a conspiracy theory path and say that no painting is the actual painting and they're all just reproductions of the paintings that are on display.
And they're, because
everything
the
else
idea,
is hidden in
it's not the
in a
idea
vault
from
somewhere.
their brain. Oh. No, yours is more fun. Let's do that.
I do like this, like nothing that is not the actual like spark of the idea exists, though. I really do. I like that a lot.
They probably a lot are just in warehouses, right?
Most art in general is locked away because it will depreciate the value of a bunch of paintings.
But not like
that exist out in the world.
Not like
the art market's a scam.
Well, yeah. But what I'm asking is, how many paintings in museums are they like, this is the real one, wink, while the actual thing is in a warehouse?
I want to say I think most of them, but I don't know.
Really? You think like most of them?
Yeah, I think most of them are the real paintings.
No. Okay. There was a misunderstanding there. Either I asked wrong or you answered wrong. Okay. You think most of what is in museums are real?
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Am I?
No. I misunderstood what you were saying. I thought that you were saying that you thought most of the real ones were in warehouses and we were being lied to.
I was just saying in general, most paintings in the world exist in warehouses and aren't available for the public to see, which is huge. And
not just paintings in warehouses, but like there are cave paintings from like early human society that have been walled off from human, like you can't go in there because even your breath will damage it.
Well, did you hear about like the French Boy Scouts or something that went and just scrubbed a bunch of cave paintings, like fucking crazy people?
Yeah. I think that might even be the one
I was like,
that I'm talking about.
I was so upset. Ugh.
It's like HBO Max just deleting half of its original content catalog for no particular reason. Where is Westworld?
Is that vandalism?
Did a bunch of French kids erase Westworld?
Did they actually take Westworld off?
Yeah, it's gone.
Wow.
I support them in that
Some
move,
other channel
actually.
bought it.
I thought it was bad.
What channel?
Well, I'm not saying it was good. I'm just saying, like, it's interesting. Look, just generally speaking, it's like the whole the promise of the internet and the ability to hold all this data was that we wouldn't have to remove things.
I know.
And then now it's like, we have this, but we're going to take it away. Just kind of arbitrarily. Which,
Why can't
honestly,
we
we know it's
find
not arbitrary
breakfast?
because they're selling it. If those French boys could sell those cave paintings, they surely would have.
Yeah.
Clearly they could not. And that's okay.
They didn't know what they were doing.
They didn't.
Okay.
Colonialists. Yeah.
It's on Apple TV. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to plug that.
It's an interesting question though, because what is our responsibility to art and keeping it? Like because we're talking about like, a lot of paintings are going to be kept in climate controlled spaces. We are going to, I think, not being at all dystopian with this prediction, reach a point where to keep, say, the Mona Lisa in the condition that it was intended, incredible amounts of energy are going to have to be spent on it that will require actual living humans in the common era probably to suffer, just so the painting can survive. Let's
take those high-def photos I was talking about.
Well, I mean, why not? What really is the problem with doing that? And I am turning into Mark Zuckerberg as I say this, but perhaps a virtual experience of some of these things is a suitable replacement, because the point is not that it was done and it's there to an extent. The point is that it can be done. But I also completely disagree with what I just said.
I have an art piece that actually goes along these lines. If you want to take this journey very quickly,
tell me everything.
There was a Banksy art piece that was created in 2006 called Morons. It was about hold on. It's making fun of.
This says it was debut buddies.
Banksy's first future predicting artwork.
Nostradamus.
Did you guys know that Idiocracy has Crocs?
Does it? Oh,
yeah. Shit. Everyone's wearing Crocs, and that like, whenever they were like, we need to have a shoe that's dumb. And then they brought that company, and then they showed the shoes, and somebody was like, what if by the time the movie comes out, these are popular? And then the costume person just laughed and said, "There's no way in hell anybody's gonna. They look so dumb."
They became popular then, and
real.
They're back. Apparently,
they're back.
Big time back.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, so Morons by Banksy, which is making a mockery of is it Van Gogh sunflowers, like that being auctioned in 1987. So this was purchased in 2021 at an auction for $95,000. And the guy that bought it, or group that bought it, ended up talking about it and saying, we are creating an NFT of this and burning it. And then they burned it live, and an NFT exists of it. And guess how much that NFT sold for?
$0.
Yeah. What year was this? Like recent, or was this last year?
2021. So it was when NFTs still had power.
How much vape juice was involved with it? What is it called? Slurp juice.
Slurp juice. Slurp.
I don't know, man. Oh. It has something to do with the Bored Apes. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. How much?
Sold for $380,000.
Wow.
So
some moron owns a digital version of Morons that they paid more than I've ever seen in my entire life or ever will.
Yep. And the person that's like the equivalent of buying probably a cheeseburger from McDonald's for them.
Here's my follow-up question. Do we have eyes on what that costs today now that NFTs tanked?
Probably like 30 cents. I don't know.
Yeah. That's like the tables have turned.
Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, here's what I'm thinking about. Nate, did you watch Doctor Who?
Absolutely, I did. Yeah.
Okay. Oh God, can I ask this question without a spoiler for an episode from 10 years ago, 15 years ago?
I think you have to ask it with the spoiler. I think it's okay.
Yeah. So I'll be delicate. I'll speak obtusely, and the people who get it will get it. So at some point, there is a second 10th Doctor. We've got 2 David Tennants floating around. Handsome, goofy. They are equivalent in nearly every way except one is not immortal and is not going to be bopping through time. And I always was like, well, he's different then. He's a different guy. He's a different guy. Like genetically the same, has all the same memories, has all the same morals and values. But that's a copy. That's a different one. That's a different guy, right? That's a different guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how I feel about art. That's a different guy.
Season 1 of Angel, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer spinoff.
Yeah.
There is an episode where Angel gets his soul restored.
Yeah.
So he and Buffy get to spend like a magical weekend just hooking up eating fried chicken in bed. But then at the end of the episode, he's like, oh no, to save the world, I have to become a vampire again. And no one can remember this except for me. And then he does. And that's two different guys. It's two different guys.
That's different guys.
It's two different Buffys. It's two different everything. Like that stuff doesn't. Timelines create separate pieces of artwork.
Yeah.
That's why Sliding Doors is 2 of the best movies ever created.
Oh.
I like that you were laughing ironically at me, and then it kind of caught on. You're like, no, I'm actually into this. This is gonna work.
It's like I activated my own mirror neurons. Like, did you guys read about that artist who was barfing on paintings?
Oh,
sounds great.
I did. They were on the list because I found a list of 25 like vandalization things, and there was a barfer.
Yeah.
There was a person who was peeing also on a larger artwork as it was being installed. And there's actually a photograph of him peeing on it while it's being installed. And it's like its own artwork.
Oh, that's a miracle. I love that. I also read about a gal here in Denver who peed on a attempted to pee. It's harder for gals to project. But she attempted and was fined like 20 grand because she no urine on the painting, just rubbed her butt on it. 20 grand.
Wow.
That I think that's not fair. I don't know. I'll send it to you. I'll find it.
This does seem a little bit like a world gone mad, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
There was one painting, what was it, The Night Watch, that seemed to like constantly be vandalized, but a lot of, and by a lot I mean at least 2 of the people, one of them said that they were sent by God
he said the Lord.
And then the other and then an escaped psychiatric patient threw acid on it. It seems to be one that like draws people to it.
That's one that's got something spooky under that's one that's got double painting it. Yeah.
See if there are candles and twine.
I heard
I bet there are.
This is not vandalism related, but there is like a really creepy artwork that I heard about on another podcast that I was listening to that's like it's sold for a bunch of money, but it's just this like weird fringe artist, and it's a painting of like a little boy standing next to a girl who looks upset, and then there's like a bunch of hands behind him in the doorway. And it's very strange, and it's like the most haunted piece of artwork. Most haunted painting.
I thought you were going to bring up the crying boy paintings where houses kept burning down, and then they'd find just this painting untouched.
We've talked about
the
this.
Wreckage. Yeah. Oh, did we? Yeah, I think it's spooky.
I think maybe way back in the A Vague Idea days, we might have talked about it.
Yeah,
this painting is called "The Hands Resist Him."
The Hands Resist Him.
Yeah, it's by Bill Stoneham and it was made in 1972. It depicts a young boy and a female doll. That's the thing I forgot. A young boy and a female doll standing in front of a glass-paneled door against which a lot of hands are pressed.
Oh no!
Yeah. But yeah,
why does he look like that? Why he look that way?
Apparently, the little boy is based off of a photograph of him, of the artist as a young boy. But yeah, it was sold on eBay in 2000, along with the description implying that it was haunted. And then he has since been commissioned to do additional artworks, iterations on this theme because of that. I can tie this back in. Is selling a painting that's just mundane and unrecognized on eBay, claiming it's haunted, is claiming something haunted an act of vandalism.
I don't think there's no assigning a story or lore to something. I wouldn't consider vandalism.
Okay.
What if it damages the reputation of that thing? Like, I can't come up with an example. Or like of the painter. Like, what if you know what I mean?
I'm trying to think of it in the context too of like a house, because if you tell someone a house is haunted, that could change the value of it as well.
Right. And did you see the couple who was trying to sell their house that had an original Banksy painted on the side of it?
Oh.
And the potential buyers were like, oh, well, you have to remove that. I don't want that on my house. Don't worry. So the original sellers were like, okay, never mind. Here's the new deal. We're selling an original Banksy, and there happens to be a house attached.
That's probably going to get them way more money. Yeah.
Well, that's what their thinking was. Yeah.
Oh, that's genius.
Isn't that cool? I loved that.
Yeah, that's very smart. Imagine being a person who has the opportunity to have like a cool piece of art on a house, and you're like, nah, I don't want that there.
Yeah,
I want a drab ass house to look at every day.
Yeah, come on. Oh, that'd be dope. I guess I could commission a mural for my house if I wanted to.
Yeah, why not? You probably go to one of those wrapping places, and they'll just do a building wrap of your house, right?
Oh God.
You know, those exist for caskets, coffins specifically. You can can get.
So you can have like a NASCAR funeral.
Yeah,
sure can.
Like if you could,
yes, you can.
A Pepsi wrap on mine, that would be.
You can get famous O's on it. I don't even
drink Pepsi. I can get what?
You can get famous O's. You could get like Val Kilmer on your coffin. Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
But I would have to die after him because I wouldn't want it to be an omen for him.
But maybe if you do it and he finds out, yes, and maybe be buried next to you.
Beautiful.
Okay. So here's the pitch.
Happily ever after.
Here's the pitch. People, you've heard of Make-A-Wish, where you force someone famous to come to you before you die. What if we have a system where they have to come to your funeral instead?
Yeah,
it's the original cameo for corpses.
You just have to like
trademark it. We need to do this. We need to make an app.
Yeah, it's GoFundMe, but we need like a clever name for funding your celebrities' travel.
Oh, I was gonna say Go Fune Me. It's like funeral.
Oh,
right.
We got it.
I was trying to think of a play on eulogy.
Oh,
eulogy.
Wait, say again.
Melogy.
Melogy.
Because this is an attention economy, and it's about me now.
I love it. See, I love it. TM.
I feel like this is performance art. We're building performance art right now.
Plus, if you get the star of The Fifth Element and the Resident Evil series to give your melogy, it's a Melogy.
No.
Oh boy.
Or that 70s show for that matter. There's a lot of options. We can get all kinds of Milas.
You can get your favorite Mila.
We got Milas for miles.
Now, hold on. Earlier, you used the phrase pussification.
I sure
There's
did.
that band, Pussifer.
Uh-huh.
And didn't Mila Jovovich, she sings on a Pussifer song.
No.
Does she?
So just... Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I'm bad at names. Is it? I'm pretty sure it's her.
Is it Pucifer or I guess it's probably Pussifer.
It's Pussifer.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it, so that works out.
Hell yeah. Would we consider the sort of modding of a video game to be an act of vandalism?
Oh.
Like,
I don't
okay,
so.
If you make an all nude Skyrim patch, or you go into Fallout 4 and you're like, everybody's a cowboy except for these guys that are Deathclaws, and that's the whole game. Like, is that vandalism?
Exactly. To your point, I feel like whenever we talk about vandalism, and this is why I wanted to talk to you guys about what the first actual one was, because the Rauschenberg, wait, no, was that right?
Yeah.
Okay. the erase de Kooning, that was allowed. He allowed that to happen to his painting. So does that count as vandalism?
Informed consent.
Then,
right.
Yeah, because then I'm thinking of like Stardew Valley has a lot of mods, but the creator of Stardew Valley loves the mods, and he's like very pro those being created, and is not going to create any more updates to the game because the mods are so extensive. So if you have a mod that has not been allowed, so I think like Zelda has a lot of mods that they are very upset with and that they exist. So I guess that would be an act of vandalism. So digital vandalism. Can we go
I think that we're getting
Calvin
into like
NFTs?
I can't. He's got to be like a couple pixels different though, so that it's
so it doesn't look like it fits. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. But now we're getting into like
one.
Oh, Calvin got thick.
Calvin and Hog.
Oh, gross. He's a kid.
Still got a hog.
You can't say that. You can't use that word though.
Fine, piglet then, I guess. I don't know. What
Ew, that's way worse. Genitals.
Oh God.
But this is like a whole field of study in literature, like postmodernism. Like, is authorial intent an important piece of interpreting the work? Like, some people believe that like the phrase is like words belong to their readers. So you read the book and it's only your interpretation that matters. And I don't personally subscribe to that because, I mean, Mark Twain's work is a great example, like lots of N-words being thrown around and people are like, this is racist, but it wasn't. It was specifically like critiquing racism.
Yeah.
So I think that authorial intent is important, but I do think that it is complex in that you can interpret additional things or different things from the same work. So like,
yeah,
I don't know, man. What is vandalism?
Well, I think that's the question, right? Is that okay? Interpretation, analysis, study, discussion. These are all things that should be validly allowed broadly about just about anything, right? Yeah, somebody can write a piece about how The Adventures of Huck Finn is starkly disgusting in 2023. And no one should ever write it now. And absolutely they should not, because it's not about now.
Well, it's already been done.
Sure, yeah. Simpsons did it. But the idea that like we have to be able to do both. Yeah, because I think authorial intent always matters, because I don't know anybody who's ever written anything of merit, or for that matter, any art. Any creation.
Even there, of merit, now you're bringing in the subjectivity.
That's fair. Yeah, no, you're right. To say more specifically that everything is created for a reason. When we have a provable creator, because God doesn't exist, but otherwise, provable creator, everything is created for a reason, whether that is childhood boredom, or the exercising of parental strife, or you're writing a song because you got broken up with and you don't know how to deal with those emotions. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing it right, and it doesn't necessarily mean that what you've created is pristine, nor that anybody should be disallowed from judging, viewing, and perceiving it.
Yeah. And it also, on top of that, like, you can make something today and tomorrow or next year or 10 years from now, you're like, well, whatever I was saying was totally wrong. I don't agree with any of that now. So that brings into question, like, the temporality of vandalism. Like, was it vandalism if you did it 10 years ago? And is it vandalism today if I no longer agree with that work? Like, I don't know, man.
Some of the art vandalism that I saw on the list I found were things like a performance artist jumps on a bed installation in a museum. And the question then becomes, well, in retrospect, like, I feel like that's kind of badass and makes sense. Like, this is clearly a conversation that is occurring.
That's the same thing as pissing in that urinal, by the way.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm saying it.
Yeah.
to what extent, like, to vandalize something is to require it to be somehow finished and like untouchable and unencroachable in its, because to say that, like, I vandalized a brick wall by spray painting Kiss rules on it, right? Because of course Kiss does rule.
Everybody knows it. Yeah, everybody's saying it.
If I do that, the assumption that I vandalized is based entirely on the fact that the wall was somehow perfect without that on.
Yeah. Like, it's all about, it's in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
And I think the beholder, though, largely speaking, that decides if it's vandalism or not is also the owner, right? It also becomes a capitalist sort of it becomes a capitalistic sort of thing where it's like, okay, well, the museum has the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa, therefore, has historical value and is meant to not be changed. So when, dozens upon dozens of people over 110 years try to vandalize that shit, it's all vandalism. It isn't an act of like, whereas, okay, if there's we've all been to a punk bar at some point in our life, or a college bar, where writing on the wall, putting stickers on the wall, and doing these sorts of things is just what happens, right?
Yeah.
Like, whether it be in the actual bar area or in the bathroom, you go in and there's just stuff in there.
Yeah.
And the only thing that separates that from vandalism is that there is an acceptance that the activity is not vandalism, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like the sink in Boulder. Kelly, you've been to the sink in Boulder, right?
The sink?
Yeah.
No, I guess not. No.
It's on the hill, or at least it used to be. I don't know.
Oh, I don't go up there. I'm an adult, and I've been an adult the whole time.
Yeah. That's fair.
You went to college here.
True.
The hill is for teens.
Yeah. I worked in the Hill bookstore, if it's still there. That was the Barnes and Noble book. Anyway,
couldn't tell you.
Not important. But yeah, like those places. So yeah, to your point, consent, right? So vandalism is only vandalism if consent is not perceived. Now, if we go back to Amazing Spider-Man number 14, maybe, I'm not saying that we know this, and we obviously do know that this isn't true, but what if, let me posit for you a reality where...
Oh, I love a posit.
Boyfriend of angry girlfriend likes being dominated through vandalization of his comics, and therefore he has implicitly consented to the destruction of Amazing Spider-Man 14, and he gets off on it, and so therefore it is not vandalism, it is kink.
So do we need to change the name of this episode?
Because that's it. We just found it. See, but oh man, that one's so interesting. Can you imagine if your sex toy became a collectible in the world? Like, you're like, oh man, I just like jerked off to that, and now everybody is paying $10,000 for it. Is that so? Now is selling it vandalism?
I mean, is that posits that all of OnlyFans is vandalism? Because ladies are selling all
that's
sorts
consent.
Of that.
That's consent.
Oh, so somebody has to steal it.
Oh, I thought we changed it to kink. So are we?
Yeah,
No.
I think we're tangled up in our own
situation
here now.
Oh God.
No, we said it's not. It's not vandalism. I don't know.
I don't think we can settle this right now.
Where are we right now?
I have another vandalism question though.
Yes.
So, and this directly affects the value. Do we think that a signed baseball card is an act of vandalism?
Too. That's in my questions too.
Or autographed anything, right? Like if someone, if an author signs their book, they're vandalizing the original text, and it gains value. Again, we're back to consent, I suppose.
Yes. And I did look up the Merriam-Webster, and it says willful or malicious, and I think malicious is a big part of it. So if you're like,
but that said or, not and.
But willful or malicious destruction or defacement of public or private property. And I don't think that would be
okay. Will you go
destruction
ahead
or
and
defacement.
will you look up? Is it not defacement?
No, unless you like write over a page.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
We're just gonna have to define
this
a
comes
bunch of
down.
words.
This
We
again
Yeah.
comes down to it comes down to the consent thing of like, yeah, technically, like if I have a Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card that is in mint condition, and
Yeah.
let's say I get a time machine, I go back in time, and I'm like, Ken Griffey Jr., will you sign this card for me? And
You could have told me that he was alive, and
he is still alive.
okay.
But
Then why do we need
I'm
the time machine? Sorry. Okay, go on.
because I want him to sign it at a stadium because I'm
Yeah.
I'm having an
And maybe his
imagination
writing
adventure.
isn't as good
Yeah.
now. Maybe it
You've
doesn't-
got now
I
Nate's
could-
doing kink. He's got a specific fantasy.
I'm doing a thing. I go back in time.
Yeah.
Here's the actual scenario. I go back in time with this prized baseball card because I want to show young Ken Griffey Jr. how popular he's going to be in the
Mm.
Okay.
future.
Yeah.
And I am at the stadium and I'm like, hey,
Aw.
Ken Griffey Jr., I know that you don't know this yet, but look at how cool you're going to be. This card is worth whatever. He takes it out of my hand, thinking I'm asking him to sign it. He signs that card
Mm-hmm.
against my consent.
Yeah.
He has now vandalized the card that I brought to show him.
Mm-hmm.
In this time machine scenario, yeah.
In this
Yeah.
scenario, it's vandalized then.
That's
But it also
I think-
gains
okay,
incredible amount of value because it's a card from the future that's been signed by the man in the past.
That's a double whammy. You're like, this card has traveled through time. Additionally, Ken Griffey Jr. has signed it.
You can tell that it traveled through time because Marty McFly and his brother and sister have disappeared from it. They're fading away slowly.
Yep. That's sort of an interesting idea too, especially in the new world of deep fakes and AI. So the guy who played the dork dweeb in Back to the Future, what's his name?
The
That
dad?
actor? Yeah.
Christopher
Crispin
Lloyd, you mean.
Glover?
Doc.
No, not Christopher
Oh.
Lloyd.
Oh.
Who are we talking about?
Wait, what did you say, Chelsea?
Are we saying the bully or the
No, not the bully.
The
The
dad.
bullied.
Crispin Glover?
Yeah, so the dad, yeah.
Crispin Glover. Crispin
Yeah.
Glover.
Uh-huh.
He ended up suing the studio because they used his likeness in the second movie without his consent. So, like, I don't think that that's vandalism, but going back to the example that I couldn't come up with earlier, like, if you do a deep fake of somebody, are you vandalizing their reputation? Like where does the line end?
The popular deepfake presidents?
Yeah, or
God,
like
yeah.
deep fake Tom Cruise.
Well, I think that Bruce Willis signed away his ability to be deep faked, and I think
I hate that.
I think that there are actors that are like, okay, I don't want to have to work anymore, so give me the money that you use for my likeness.
See, but that goes back to consent.
yeah,
I've also
Yeah.
been seeing a lot of actors being like, write this into your contracts that they cannot do this.
oh yeah,
So I don't know, man.
Because there's apparently
I
like
don't
20
know.
minutes of de-aged Harrison Ford in the forthcoming
Yeah.
Indiana Jones movie, which, hey, look, it could be well done. I'm also kind
Maybe.
of like over this happening. Like,
Yeah, I don't like
we
that.
have,
Indiana Jones
we
in
have
general.
young actors who look
Mhm.
like we have a type culturally still.
Yeah.
Like we've tried to diversify, but we still have a type. There's a Harrison
Yeah.
Ford type out there that we could
Oh,
be.
Plus,
yeah,
all
for
boys
sure.
look the
So
same.
many.
So, like,
It's true, we do.
just get any old actor. It'll be fine.
I'm sure that, I mean, this has come up before, but like all the Mandalorian and other Disney Plus stuff where they bring Luke in with Mark Hamill, and a bunch of people have been like, look, Sebastian Stan looks almost exactly like Mark Hamill.
Yeah, he
Just use
does.
Sebastian Stan, an
Oh.
actor who already works with Disney and exists now in this youthful format. No hate against
Wait.
Mark Hamill.
They're like de-aging Mark Hamill?
yeah.
Well, yeah, they're just
Oh.
like legit
Spoiler.
CGIing Mark Hamill.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. Oh, it's not even him. It's just a cartoon.
It's a stand-in
He's-
with the Mark Hamill face on, and a lot of people have been criticized. Some kid got hired by Disney, I think, because he posted a YouTube video. Was like, I can do this better. Like, look at how much more realistic my version of this same scene looks.
Wow.
And they're like, oh, snap.
Good for you, kid. I hope that you asked for a lot of money. But also,
I had talents like that. When I was a kid, I was just wasting my time. Terrible.
Yeah, what was I good at as a kid? I could correct your grammar.
Yeah.
I was just
Disney
talking
need
to people about how I retook keyboarding. Like somebody was like, your keyboarding skills are really good. And I was like, yeah, took it like 4 times in school. Just the one class we had over and over.
Yeah, what was that like? Your WPM? God, I was obsessed with my WPM.
Fucking Mavis Beacon was out there forcing us to type.
Words per minute. Oh boy. Okay, did you guys see that vandalism of the guy? Okay, so original artist had I don't know what this art was saying, but it was like a lamb in a box, a clear box.
Oh.
You see the lamb. I don't know what that meant.
Lamb of God.
Yeah, well, it's about to get much more metal.
Piece?
Couldn't tell you.
Okay.
Then the vandalizer poured in like a slick of ink, so you could no longer see the lamb. It was entirely black.
Oh, interesting.
And that was, I don't think that there were any legal or monetary ramifications from there. But then the original artist sort of thought that that was like a cool statement that the vandalizer, quote unquote, vandalizer did, and published a book of his artwork. And in the book, he had like a little, like it was almost like a pop-up book, like interactive, and you could slide like a black film over the picture of his original lamb art, so you could like do the vandalism. And then the vandalizer, it is cool. The vandalizer sued him for copyright infringement. So like what happened there?
I like that a lot.
Yeah. I was like, is this also a statement? Like, are we now doing performance art on top of it?
I'm not taking enough big swings is what I'm discovering throughout this conversation. Like, one, you just like pour ink on anything and then you sue people for going like, oh yeah, that's kind of neat. I'll also pour ink on my own
Hey, that was my thing.
It was me. My identity was Ink Boy.
Yeah, weird. What a funny story. Sorry, I didn't write any details down. I was just like, that's funny. That's funny.
I like that. You know what else I like? The Mouthgarf Report.
The Mouthgarf Report.
Yay.
The Mouthgarf Report. Open wide.
We've had a lot of Garf in the time that we've had apart.
We truly have.
Recording. There's been a lot of Garf floating around.
Including
a balloon of Garf.
Yeah. Thanks, Macy.
And,
Day Parade.
and the idea that Taylor Swift would be dating Jim Davis, which is still just like in here in my brain as just joyous excitement. How's everybody's teeth looking today? Can I go ahead and get those out there for me? Yeah, there we go.
My chompers.
I did have a question for you guys on mouth guards.
She really is covering her teeth.
Yeah,
she does not want Nate to see those.
Freaked out by Nate.
He was getting his face up real close to the screen.
I was really selling it.
How do you guys clean your night guards?
How energetic am I being?
What?
So day to day, here's what I do every day.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I've got little Bright, or Bright. They're like little antacid tablets that you would drop in water in a commercial from the 90s.
Yeah.
And I pop that into
plop plop fizz fizz.
That's exactly what I'm doing. Into a little like sonic cleaner that my dentist gave me.
Oh, nice.
Shakes them.
Nice. So there's a hedgehog in there.
Yep, sure is.
Right.
It is blue. And so I run that for, you're supposed to do it for 15 minutes, but here's what I like to do. Turn it on, walk away, and then 2 hours later, I come back to the bathroom and I'm like, oops. Turn it off. But I also have like a little brush and solution on the big cleaning days, which I do not do very often.
I guess
How
it's
do you
also
clean
partially my
yours?
question. I was wondering how, like, I've seen advertisements for those little vibrating cleaners, and I wonder how well they
Oh.
work.
My dentist offered that I could bring my mouth guard there and he would sonic clean it for me.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
The
For a
thing
fee.
that I
for
never
a small
do.
fee.
You know what? It might be just the pleasure of my company. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Oh, he's got a teeth kink too. He's like, let's pop that into the
Look.
Sonicare. How about you sit in the chair?
Every time I go, Fred is like, "Hey man, I would tell you how to do this thing, but you're clearly already on it." Great. Thanks for bringing that weird bag of teeth in too. They're all clean. They're doing good. No, but I rinse it every day, but I've never really cleaned it. Like I don't.
Oh no, Nate.
And I understand now, just hearing Kelly's ritual with it, that I do have a problem apparently that I'm not cleaning it, but I've experienced no ill side effects.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
Yeah,
I think that if you clean your teeth really well
It should be
beforehand, I mean, for a while at least, like bacteria is still going to accumulate. But you can get away
but
with
some
it
of that
for a long
bacteria is
time.
good, right? Like it can only make me stronger.
Do we
it's
think we've
setting
got
up shop
probiotics in our
here.
mouth? Probably.
Yeah, I mean, for one, like I am a 15-minute ritual nighttime toothbrusher, so it's going in super clean.
So
Yeah,
do you
it's
floss
nice.
or use
Water pick?
Oh yeah, I don't have a water pick, but
Nate, your mouth is gross. You got to start washing all this.
I do. I do the flossing. I do the
Okay.
the whatever, the mechanical, the electric toothbrush thing. The
Yeah.
Sonicare.
That's fair.
It gets Sonicared.
We love a Sonicare.
Every couple of days I do a little swirl of the rinse.
Oh,
Just every
nice.
couple of days?
Yeah, you don't want to do it every day because you don't
Okay.
want to raw up your inner mouth parts.
Well,
At least
and
I
is it
don't.
like
What?
is it like
Well,
antibiotics? Like, are you making super bugs if you use it every day?
That's what I'm saying, right?
I don't know, man. That's a hypothesis. But you saw my hypothesis earlier. That was fucking right on the money.
It was.
But yeah, I think I should take it to Fred and let Fred clean it for me.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great idea. Why not? Especially
trying to
considering
get
that it
some
might have been in
Sonicare.
my dog's mouth before, and I just
Yeah, you
Nate.
should, that's the one you should probably.
I say might have because I have no actual confirmation other than it was at the foot of the bed that one time that I brought up on this very show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in the
There's-
dog's mouth.
Kind of only one way he could have gotten
Mostly
there,
was.
but hey, look, she was a very young puppy, so it's a young
And you
mouth.
floss her teeth every day
Dogs'
too.
mouths
so.
are cleaner than humans, etc.
It
Yeah.
doesn't mean that they're clean.
Well, is
That's
anything
true.
clean though?
That's
I mean,
also...
that's subjective.
Mhm.
I'm clean, Greg. Could you milk me?
What is clean?
Yeah. How
Did
are
we
you
answer
doing,
your
Chelsea?
Chelsea?
Oh, yeah.
Did
you
we answer your Chelsea?
Yeah,
your Chelsea
that answered
question?
me. Yeah.
That answer me.
Yeah, that answered me. I brush with mouthwash, so I mouthwash and brush every day. And then I try to brush in the morning, so then when I take them out, I brush them. But I use the purple mouthwash, and this is just like a nice little tip. When I went to a dentist, they talked about, because I used to use sensitive toothpaste, still kind of have to because I can't have SF. So there's an ingredient that does not do well in my mouth. But they were like, just use the purple mouthwash. It's the same thing as using sensitive toothpaste. And it
Nice.
rebuilds your enamel. And okay, this is a fun story. Whenever I was on vacation, I ate at a Mexican restaurant. Somehow I bit down on a rock. I don't know how that happened. And my tooth hurt for 3 days. But then I went and got mouthwash and kept using the mouthwash, and then it was okay.
Okay.
Whoa.
We have to
Purple
take
mouthwash.
a quick
Use purple mouthwash.
weird things we bit down on tangent because
Ooh,
I
yeah.
have a fun one.
Oh,
Years
I've got
ago.
more.
I feel like this is gonna go places. We went to back when I was still in Denver. We used to be walking distance of the Capitol Hill Whole Foods. So we bought some Whole Foods chocolate chip cookies. Like a 8, whatever, like a little container of 8. Bring them back. We're eating cookies. I pop a cookie in my mouth, bite down on this chocolate chip, and I'm like, that's not a chocolate chip.
Oh no.
It wasn't anything super gross. Here's
Finger.
the spoiler. It was a bolt.
A bolt?
It was a 1-inch long bolt that was probably, I would guess, I don't know, 1632 head size. It was a large bolt.
Oh God.
I didn't bite down hard on it, fortunately.
That's
And I was like,
good.
well, that's
So you
good
were
because I would have
savoring them
destroyed
chocolate
myself.
chips.
Yes, I was. I really.
Oh.
I
and
feel
then,
like.
Oh, my
go
teeth
on.
hurt so bad now.
Yeah. So my coworker Antoine tweeted at Whole Foods to be like, "Hey, we got a bolt in the cookie," and Whole Foods was like, would you like a $15 gift card? And he accepted because it was really it was so long ago that the idea of holding them to account wasn't yet a thing. But I like to say that, you know, when your cookies come out of a machine, sometimes a machine comes out of your cookies.
Oh, well,
No.
that's what I was going to say. As a baker, I feel like I know exactly what happened, which is like on my KitchenAid mixer, if the bowl is overfilled, then there's this one specific bolt that starts shimmying its way out. And I keep a screwdriver in my kitchen so that I can twist that baby back in. So like they were just overfilling their mixer bowl.
They're trying to overextend their batches.
They are.
At the bottom line.
Yep. Just another way that they are disrespecting their clientele.
They vandalized my cookie.
Yeah, they did. Yes, they did.
Okay, what's a weird thing that everybody else bit into?
I lost a baby tooth to a Butterfinger when I was a kid. Yeah. Because you know how Butterfingers are. They're like...
Oh, yeah.
Delicious.
You could... Yes, that.
You
But
feel
also
like you're going to lose
probably,
an adult tooth to them sometimes, for sure.
Yeah, like you could fill a cavity with whatever that is in a Butterfinger. Like it compacts. It is so dense. Yeah, baby tooth just popped right out of my skull.
Aw, adorable. Little baby tooth.
Little baby tooth. Chelsea, I think of your brother biting into popcorn.
And
almost every time I have popcorn. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do too. And then that's why I eat popcorn very, very slowly for that reason.
Yeah, same.
Which is annoying because I eat a lot of popcorn. I was gonna say over my vacation, I did also. So first was The Rock, and then prior to that, when I was moving,
Dwayne Johnson, specifically,
I had a chicken bone in one of my taquitos, and I was like, God,
oh shit, oh gross.
And then I had another chicken item. I don't know. I'm gonna stop eating chicken.
This is just on your recent.
Dude, I for a second I was like, are chicken revolting against me? Is this like a thing? Do I need to avoid chicken at all costs?
Did you upset somebody and they've cursed you? Like what happened? Were you disrespectful?
Alternate take. Maybe someone from beyond is communicating to Chelsea that she needs the ingredients to create or cast a curse. And they're like, here, you need these chicken feet and these bones and this blood and whatever. Yeah.
That's fair.
I'm not saying she's got the feet yet. I'm saying they're probably on their way.
They're the next ingredient. Okay.
Because you're gonna make a Baba Yaga's hut, baby. Do it.
Okay, I'm gonna be looking forward to that. I'll let you guys know next week. Oh no.
That was Mouthgarf Report.
The Mouthgarf Report. Open wide.
Do you guys want to play a game? How do you feel about games?
I guess.
Love them.
Yeah.
Great. There is
a lot of enthusiasm today.
Tangible excitement, listener. Yeah. Oh man, if we were all in the same room, I got my favorite
pen for this.
I think we would literally electrocute each other. It's so energized.
It's electric.
You thought starting earlier would bring more energy, but really we're just crashing faster.
Well, we've been going at it for almost 2 hours now, so woo! Here we go. We're gonna play I See What You Did There.
I thought we might be playing a different game.
Yeah.
One of these days we might. One of these days I might have to throw a curveball in. Just because, we've done this for a while. We've been at this for quite a few episodes.
That's true.
And we're at risk
of
becoming stale,
No.
We have to vandalize our own show.
Nope. There are people that listen just for I see what you did there.
It's true.
They just wait
It's true.
for it. They listen
Literally,
to
our scrub rate to the last 15
finally.
minutes is incredible. 99% of people finish the show. Only 12% start it. All of these I see what you did there's are art themed.
God, Chelsea's gonna crush this.
Maybe I won't. I did not do well earlier, so we'll see how this goes.
And in the spirit of I see what you did there, all of this is kind of a vandalism of each of your souls. So,
oh, good, cool.
Welcome to hell.
I consent, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, like if "Drag Me to Hell" was just a consent declaration.
Oh.
Drag me to hell.
Oh,
Let's go. Come on. All right, number 1. The truest work of pop art ever may be this battery-powered talking novelty fish gift from the 1990s. Put it together with a French-named 1980s New York neo-expressionist artist known in part for crowns.
Oh, Billy Basquiat.
Oh, nice.
You see what I did there? Yeah, big mouth.
I told you Chelsea
Billy
was gonna
Basquiat.
I only knew the fish part.
Billy was.
All right, look at that. Look at how fast that start was. I'm not even going to edit that.
Yeah.
0 pause. All right. This one's definitely the hardest. Maybe.
Oh, no.
Well, the next 2 are kind of the harder ones.
Subjective.
Okay, great.
Subjective.
Cool.
Subjective.
Right? Yeah. Number 2, a student in Seoul ate this art installation by Maurizio Catalan, quote, because he was hungry. And you could cleverly depict the incident with this art technique using distorted projection that requires the viewer to occupy a specific vantage point, use a special device, or both to view a recognizable image.
Okay.
Is that second one forced perspective?
It's a fancier Latineer word for it.
Okay, great. Okay, good.
Yeah. It might be Greekier. It might not be Latin.
Might be Greekier.
Yeah. I'll give you this. It ends in
Focus. Something?
osis.
No. Osis.
Osis. Okay.
Ends in
Okay.
osis.
Osis.
So
is
first,
it what he ate?
what's the thing that he ate? Yeah.
Okay.
Think of,
I don't know,
and this
the
is
banana
contemporary. This is a contemporary
Is it
art.
the banana?
It is a banana. Yeah. Yep.
Told you.
Nice job, Kelly.
Thanks.
Bananagram. No. Banana.
Phone. Do 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 do.
Banana.
The only Greek word that it's just on a loop in my brain right now is vomitorium.
Yeah. That's great.
Theater. It is great. It's not helpful right now. Ocus.
Osis.
Osis.
Osis. It ends in it. Yeah. You've
Could
got
you repeat
banana.
the second
You've got
part?
something in the middle, and you've got osis. The second part could cleverly depict the incident with this art technique using distorted projection, requiring the viewer to occupy a specific vantage point, use a special device, or both to view a recognizable image. An example of this, one example, not all, because some of them actually do use projecting of things, but one example would be when people do street chalk art, that if you stand at a specific angle, you would think like, oh, there's actually like a hole in the road there.
Yeah.
And a world.
It is a forced perspective, but it is.
It's a forced perspective thing, but it's
the
it's
fancy
a term for
It's
it.
the fancy.
Yeah.
First perspectosis.
I will give you another hint.
Crushed it.
The
Banana.
middle part of this word, you've got banana as part of the word. You've got osis at the end of the word. The middle of the word is the first half.
Yes, of the other
Actually,
word.
no, it's not even the first half. It is the
God,
title. It is the title for a book series featuring teens who turn into various kinds of...
Animorphs.
Okay, great.
Anamorphosis.
Bananamorphosis.
Bananamorphosis.
Yay!
Bananamorphosis.
Whoa.
Yeah, anamorphosis is that projection technique.
Cool.
That was really difficult, but that's my favorite one that we have done, I think, ever.
Yeah.
Bananamorphosis.
Honestly,
Okay.
I'm happy that I didn't even think about. I didn't have Animorph written down. It just
Yeah,
dawned
if
on
you
me
had
like,
done
oh yeah,
Animorphs,
Animorph is
we
right in
would
the
have
middle
gotten
of it.
that immediately.
God, thank God we're doing this an hour earlier. We would still be
know.
struggling.
Oh, man, yeah. Okay. Number 3 features one of y'all's favorite
Val
pieces
Kilmer.
of art.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah, it
pieces
could
of
be
art.
Val
Got
Kilmer.
it. Okay.
I mean,
Doc
he's
Holliday.
a work
Doc
of art.
Holliday.
81-year-old Cecilia Jimenez became a global laughingstock when she confessed to being the painter
This is
behind this
my favorite.
appallingly bad and unauthorized restoration of a
This is
19th century
my
fresco
favorite.
in her church in Borgia, Spain. So give me the nickname for her erroneous fresco and combine that with the online art genre based on the multiplayer deduction game Among Us.
Wait, say the second part again.
Okay.
Online art.
So online
it?
art genre based on the multiplayer deduction
Genre.
game Among Us. This would be
It's
specifically
Potato
like
Jesus.
deviant art.
Potato
Yeah.
Jesus?
I'll accept Potato Jesus. There's
Where's-
another name that's also.
Is
that's
that
also-
what I?
Is it Jesus
Is maybe yeah?
potato
Is
art?
that just what I call it?
You might. I mean, it's not unaccurate or inaccurate.
Is that just me?
Unaccurate is inaccurate.
Art genre based on.
Among Us?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's that little guy, right? It's the little
Yeah.
guy.
Right.
Your little
And
guys
and this is
and,
mainly
yeah.
steering into something that a popular piece of slang that came out of Among Us that the
Oh.
kids say
Oh, okay.
about things they might not believe are true.
Sus.
Sus.
Oh, sus.
There you go.
Okay.
Sus art?
Yeah,
Is
sus
that-
art. Very good.
Okay.
Oh.
So Potato G sus art?
Yeah. The
What's the other
official
term?
the official nickname was Beast Jesus. Is what they were
No.
calling it. Yeah.
No.
At least that's what
uh-uh.
Wikipedia says. Wikipedia
Go
says
to
they were calling him
knowyourmeme.com.
Beast Jesus.
Go to knowyourmeme.com. It's Potato Jesus.
Hey, I don't disagree. I'm not quibbling with you over this. So yeah, Potato G sus art. There you go.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
You see what I did there?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and if you look for sus art, you will see some strange things as well. Enjoy.
Googling in background.
All right. Number 4.
Oh,
Number
got a
4.
wiener. Yep.
Yep. Literally the first one. Number 4. When you're here, you're family. And when you're in this Hieronymus Bosch triptych, you might be in hell.
Olive Garden of Earthly Delights.
You see what I did there.
Beautiful.
Very well done. Very well done.
Oh, I love that Hieronymus Bosch painting.
It's so good.
It's so good.
One of the books that Spaceboy is putting out here. Well, it'll probably be out right now on release time. It features a portion of that very painting on its cover.
Which portion?
One of the hellish portions with a bird-headed man and a naked lady.
Oh yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
I like the ears with the scissors.
Yeah, the ears with the scissors is great.
Yeah.
That was I See What You Did There.
Yay.
Woohoo!
What do we think of ASM 14, the
Mhm.
Angry Girlfriend variant, as the first piece of
Or-
vandalized art?
Do we consider it to be that one, or is it the Erase de Kooning?
I mean, it can be both. I think they're both.
There was
fucking
consent. There was consent in Erase de Kooning. So
But maybe also in the Spider-Man one, if we go with our
That's
kink
right.
we go with
theory.
the
Yeah.
Mhm.
cool. His boyfriend is like, yeah, give it to Spider-Man.
Oh, God.
Right, fuck you, bigger.
Yeah. Make me sad. That's my favorite comic. Make me sadder. My tears are only lubricant.
Oh no.
What? I'm just, hey, look. Everybody's allowed to be into what they're into. I'm not.
That's true.
We're not
Yeah,
here to judge at debut.
No, I'm not. I wasn't judging. I was just thinking about the hard work you'd have to do to stay hydrated for that.
It's true. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
there's a lot of
man, I
salt
don't know.
content in tears, which seems like it would be counterproductive.
Ideal.
But it is
Yeah.
water-based, and you know that the oil-based ones aren't good for condoms. So
That's true. That's true.
Good point.
Yeah, we gotta be thoughtful. Protection, kids.
protection, kids. And ask your partner if they're allergic to glycerin.
Whether it be the chemical or the song by Bush.
There's a joke there.
Okay. How about this?
That's
New
that was good
trend.
enough for it.
Starting next episode, every time we have a joke, we just say, "There's a joke there," and we don't actually say the joke.
We let the audience put it together.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
smart. We're leaving it on the smart one.
We're a
trust
whodunit
them.
podcast now.
We trust them enough to know that they can make a funnier podcast than we ever could.
We're just providing the scaffolding.
Yeah.
Gonna change the name to You Do It.
Fuck, that's a really fun idea, though. I would almost pay for hosting just to host like full episodes where it's just silence and occasionally we say like a prompt. You do
Yeah.
it. It's your
You do it.
podcast.
Man, I don't know how I feel about art vandalism. I feel like I have more questions now than I did at the start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, definitely more questions. But I do. Okay, again, since we last episode we sort of reverted to just rating ourselves with each of these episodes. This is a 5.
Mhm.
This is absolutely a 5.
Yeah.
I think the topic, I think the discussion, I think the idea of art vandalism and what it means and how we put value onto things and who owns it and how that ownership maybe pervades past the artist. Because
Mhm.
yeah, because for a lot of these pieces, I mean, not the either of those two men's names that I can't remember now.
De Kooning?
Yeah, the Kooning and Rauschenberg.
Rauschenberg.
I'm great. I'm really good at remembering things. It's an hour earlier.
Well, here's the problem is, you know how bad Chelsea is at pronouncing names? So, like, who knows?
It might be completely different from what I'm saying. You guys, it's Picasso. No, I'm just kidding.
This was Verlaine.
What if I was just
and
saying Picasso wrong this entire
Rauschenberg.
time?
No.
Pikachu? No, but I mean, just this topic, this idea that there's a big difference. Like, who owns? Like, can you even vandalize Spider-Man? Because Spider-Man doesn't belong in the comic. It belongs to the person who created Spider-Man or is drawing Spider-Man anew. Can you vandalize art if it's handed to you and said, go ahead and vandalize that? I think these are great questions. And I think this is really, really interesting stuff. I also think that both of them, because I looked at the AGV and I did take a peek at the gentlemen's names that I'm not going to try to say wrong for a third time. And it's really cool. Like, it's
Isn't
interesting
it?
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if anything, vandalizing art inherently enhances its value in some way or another, right?
Man, I mean, to some people, sure.
Well, even if it doesn't improve its appearance, I think that whenever we add story and consequence to things, we enhance them, right? Like, we make it more valuable. Like, it's like scars on your body, right? Like, you get a scar and you can look at it and go, oh, that's from that thing that I did. And that memory is a tangible thing that now exists for you. And while you've been defaced, like, you're no longer a pristine porcelain little cherub baby, like...
I try so hard, though. I would like to continue to be a porcelain cherub baby.
Well, you're both allowed to. Look, I'm just being a tough older guy who's covered in scars, you know.
Yeah, chicks dig scars. That's what Nate's
that's
doing right now.
I'm gonna get on I gotta take my motorbike to the muscle car rally.
Yeah. No, you crushed that. That was good. That was good cosplay.
Yeah, it's real good. I got my leather jacket out and everything.
Whoa. I'm just imagining you as Henry Winkler as the Fonz, who was just a big, sensitive boy.
just in a room full of jukeboxes, constantly elbowing them.
But then, like, crying in the bathroom because your girlfriend doesn't take you seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I do that already. Yeah.
Should we talk to your wife?
No. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I think all of this is like a 5. I think aesthetically it's like a 3, because I think that they're very interesting to look at, but they're not like maybe perfect. So I guess it's a 4 weirdly, but I don't know. I feel like this is just so right.
Now I'm too deep in my head. I'm like, what's a 5? What's a 4? What's a 3? What's the rubric? What rubric are we using?
Should we define it? Should we have defined that up top? Is that
I guess we did. What were our debs? What were the debs? It's like
debaucherous. 4 out of 5 debonair. 3 out of 5 debatable. 2 out of 5 debilitated. 1 out of 5 debacle.
Okay, so I'm in the 4 or the 5 for sure.
All right.
I don't know. Chelsea, how are you feeling?
Yeah, 5 for conversation, obviously. For the actual items themselves, if we went with Rauschenberg and de Kooning, I would have gone with that being probably, I don't know, because the stories, I learned a lot with this, so I'm gonna rate it a 5 all around, because I learned a ton about a bunch of art vandalism that I'd never heard of or thought of before. So I'll say a 5.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna stop being on the fence. I'm gonna go 5 for the sole reason that I now have like a lot more fun facts to trickle in when I am uncomfortable in a conversation.
Hell yeah. Okay. I'm gonna dial it up to a 5 too. I don't even think my 4 was very half-hearted, so it's a 5. It's an absolute 5.
Good job, art.
Good job, art.
Yo, and a shout out to street artist named D-Face. We use the word D-Face a lot in this.
Whoa.
There's a street artist named D-Face who is really great. And he's out of, I think, the UK. I'm not sure, but check out his art.
And you know what? I see what he did there.
5s all around. That's amazing for vandalism.
They did a great job.
Low 5 for everyone. It sounds
Artists.
like what is a 5?
A low 5 maybe, because we're hipsters.
Yeah. Oh, that's a whole other thing.
It's true.
Can people vandalize our podcast? Oh my God. Okay, we can't.
I hope so.
I'm not asking that here in the 11th hour.
It become a remix.
Yeah, if anybody wants to pull this sound, create reels or TikToks about us talking.
Anybody can do that.
Like, that's
yeah.
We should be so lucky.
We should be so lucky.
On our next episode, listeners, we are going to go way, way back to probably 2,000 years ago, is my understanding.
Oh, come on.
We're going to be talking about the first book of the Bible, Genesis. That's right.
Don't they?
Not Phil Collins, not Sega. It's God and shit. Get ready.
Yeah, it's God and shit.
Adam's going to be
in the beginning.
There. Eve's going to be there.
That snake is going to be there.
That snake's going to be there. So yeah, we're going to do that in our least controversial episode to date. Get ready.
Oh, God. Yeah.
We're going to be saying that a lot.
Yeah.
But we won't be blaspheming like you just did, you blasphemer.
Whoops.
Yeah, that's me.
But it's not blaspheming to say Jesus Christ during the Genesis episode because Jesus is not born yet, right?
I don't know. That's temporality again. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Jesus, if you got a time machine, come back and prove me wrong.
What if Jesus came back right now and was like, look, I have cards of you guys as these famous podcasts.
I would, look, one, I'm totally finding religion at that point. I think I have to.
That's like the Bill and Ted story.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. You're gonna want to come back for this because who knows what the hell's gonna happen. On this episode, we're gonna play I See Who You Begat There.
Oh, that's that change up you've been talking about.
Yeah. If you like this podcast, please subscribe, rate, and review it wherever you listen. We would really appreciate you giving us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and leaving us a review. You can tell us a piece of art that you like to deface, or maybe just something that you've peed on that you're particularly proud of peeing on.
Or if you're a peed on person.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Do you identify that
As a
way?
peed
Yeah.
on person.
Maybe you like those golden showers and you just want to talk about it in our review section. We would
See,
appreciate
but that
it.
wouldn't be vandalism then. That we're back to
Mm.
kink. Okay.
I posit that everything is actually kink.
But not for everyone.
True.
Oh,
Yeah,
good
not
point.
for everyone.
Mhm.
Except for the persons whose kink is that no one else's kink is their kink. Then,
Whoa, that's gotta be
That's a
tough.
lot.
That's tough.
living in a constant state of ecstasy. If you like the music on this podcast, check out Michael J. O'Connor's stuff. It's nothing like this nonsense. You can go to michaeljoconnor.bandcamp.com. And if you want to read science fiction books that are also not anything like this nonsense, read spaceboy.com.
If you would like to hear me and Chelsea talk about horror movies, you can go check us out over at Never Show the Monster, a weekly podcast about whatever's spooky scary. Check us out over there.
Hell yeah, you were talking about cryptids now, but
Yeah.
you won't be by the time this is out. So
No
I don't
way
know
to
why
know.
I brought it up.
Aliens,
Or
maybe?
editing. Ooh,
Possibly
yeah,
aliens.
hopefully.
Possibly
Hopefully
aliens.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a great time to talk about some of those movies that I brought up that you still haven't had me back on for.
We
I'm
will.
not feeling bad about it. It's fine. It's all good.
You're on the production calendar. I'll send you a screenshot.
No, I know. I also just like listening to the two of you talk because you have your own,
Because we
you have
don't
your
know
own rhythm.
anything.
No, you have your own rhythm when you're doing your thing, right? Like I'm not there to. I'm always interrupting people.
Yeah, Nate. Vandalizing our podcast.
It's true. It's true. I'm an artist. Great. So that was the. All right, we're getting a spit take. We're getting a spit take.
Oh, God. You almost got me.
That was the first piece of art to increase in value after being vandalized.
Could be other ones, and I didn't research hard enough. So if there's another one, let us know.
Yeah,
leave
reach
it in the
out,
review.
tell us. Debutbuddies@gmail.com. You can also tweet at us, I guess, if we're still, I don't know. I'm barely using
I
Twitter
don't know.
anymore
I don't
at this
know.
point. Yeah. Who cares? TikTok.
We'll see you
at
next
us.
fortnight.
Yeah.
Bye.
Fortnight.
Bye.
Bye, buddies.
Bye, buddy.
Be excellent to each other.
Aww.